Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Deccan Herald. It's November 14, 2025, and the people of Bihar have spoken and how. At Deccan Herald, we've been closely following each and every development in Bihar, with no less than five of our seasoned journalists covering the length and breadth of the state. In addition to news reports and sharp analysis, we've also done in depth videos, all of which you can view on our website, www.deccanherald.com, and our YouTube channel. For this afternoon's discussion, I'm joined by my colleagues Sumit Pandey, Satish Jha, Gyanendra Kesri, Ashish Pandey, and who have all covered the polls from Bihar. And I'll also be joined by Amrita Madhukalya from the BJP headquarters in Delhi, and Shemin Joy, who will give us the opposition's point of view. What we've seen here is a historic decision. We've also seen a historic turnout of voters, with 67% of the total 7.45 crore voting. It seems like there are celebrations all across the ruling NDA offices. If you look at the scenes that are coming in from Patna, the BJP party quarters over there, it is reflective of the mood in the alliance camp. In the Mahagathbandhan side, it is more than disappointment if we are looking at what is more or less confirmed trends. There might be slight variation in the number of seats here and there, but as of now, it's about the NDA is touching close to 200 seats of the 243, while the Mahagathbandhan is hovering around just shy of 40 seats. Sumit, if I could come to you first, what do you make of this almost 200 seat win by the NDA? Sumit, your audio.
Can you hear me, Viju?
Yes. I think there was a glitch. Could you please repeat?
I said this is a historic win, but the history was reached in 2010 when Nitish Kumar BJP combined together got more than 205 seats, I think 206 seats.
Yeah.
But the situation was different at that point in time. Nitish Kumar was seeking a second term after 2005 victory. Nitish Kumar had contested fairly more number of seats, I think 140 out of 243. But this time around, they played on equal footing, 101 seat each. In that way, I think it is historic that on two counts for BJP, if you look at it, it is for the first time, if these numbers hold, that BJP will be emerging as the single largest party in the Bihar Assembly. It has never happened. It has never happened. That BJP has always had to play second fiddle to Nitish Kumar or any other party, but it has never emerged as single largest party. Its vote share is also more than Nitish Kumar's. But it is Nitish Kumar's brand which seems to have pulled the alliance together and got it working. Where there seems to be a completely seamless transfer of vote from one party to the other, from one social combination to the other, across the women's, as gender. Ramvilas Paswan's party, Chirag Paswan's party, pulling up a very fairly good show is also an indication that which was perhaps the weakest link in this alliance, they've also been able to dovetail or pull through. So the outcome will have a larger ramification, obviously, at national politics, but it redeems Nitish Kumar. His image from where he had landed, and he was at the mercy of BJP with 43 MLAs and the chief minister. It resets that equation, and it strengthens his claim as the chief minister on the chief ministership position. So it's not that he's dependent on BJP. He has a claim now with 80 plus seats. Then a couple of other interesting things is that what happens to RJD? If the drubbing is so bad and the Yadav family, the first family of the RJD, if they face such a rout, what's going to happen for a year onwards? And Congress's repeated inability to knit a coherent social combination and a political narrative against BJP at the national level, that again seems to have suffered.
We'll come to the Mahagathbandhan, but if numbers are now anything to go by, NDA, they're projecting to cross 200, 201. BJP is about 91 seats, JDU is 82, LJP is 21. Satish, if I could come to you, from your multiple visits to the state, did you get a feeling that JDU and the BJP were on the front foot, and was this reflected, or did you get a perception of this while you were visiting the state?
So I'll answer you by in two way. One is the celebration that are going on at BJP headquarters in Patna. So before 10 days ago when I went there, I went to the BJP headquarters. In fact, I went to RJD office, I went to JDU office, I also went to Congress office. And RJD, BJP, and JDU offices are close by. And so you could make out by taking a look at their offices that where and which party was doing better. Because sometimes offices are reflection of the reality on the ground. So BJP office was vibrant. It was full of people, commotion. People are coming and, they had these war rooms and like everything that BJP is known for. Similarly, if you go to RJD office, it was a deserted, kind of a land. There was no one. I met one of these RJD's spokespersons, and he said that everything happens from the bungalow of Tejashwi Yadav. So they don't come to the headquarters. And similarly, JDU office was again like little vibrant, but not as good as BJP. So that was one. And on the ground, however, I travel wherever I travel. I didn't see this kind of, landslide victory for the BJP or NDA combined. Of course, what we saw was a close fight like 2020, and the writing on the wall was clear that RJD or Mahagathbandhan, were, they were not able to translate their votes to a new emerging an aspirational class, the youngsters who were not part of MY combination like Muslims and Yadav, which have been voting for the RJD and Congress traditionally. So there they lagged. So, and I think in the so far in the counting, I think there is a rise in NDA's vote share, like more than 6 or 7%, which is quite phenomenal because I didn't see this kind of a wave in favor of NDA at all. So maybe the turnout, women turnout, the record turnout actually benefited NDA.
We'll actually come to the voter turnout in a short while. I am now joined by my colleagues Shemin and Amrita. Amrita is reporting live from the BJP headquarters in Delhi. Amrita, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you describe what is the mood over there?
The mood in the BJP office is ecstatic, and what you have right now is people. You have the traditional laddus in the BJP office being made, but apart from the traditional laddus, to give a flavor of the mood of the party has also prepared some litti choka. There is celebration all around. This is sort of a visual that we've seen in the BJP office ever so often when an election day comes. So everyone is very happy. The celebrations have just begun, and I think by late evening, you will have the Prime Minister make a visit to address the workers in the party office.
Amrita, if I could just continue on that. Now the BJP leaders sound confident, but you were in touch with them all throughout. Yesterday and a couple of days back also, was the same confidence reflective in them, or is it that now this has come to them as also a surprise?
The BJP has been sounding very confident right from the time they started preparing for these elections. I don't think so there was any wavering of confidence. But again, with the BJP, there has been something common when it comes to even states where they're not winning. So it's very difficult to understand, to scratch the surface and understand how the BJP thinks. But I think one of the markers of how a party is doing is the amount of people you have miling around in the BJP, in the party office when an election comes. BJP has been chock-a-block right from the day the elections were announced. So I think inside the BJP, within the camp, I don't think so there has been any doubt that they will do well. I think they've stitched the coalition very well. The distribution of seats, even though it was done very last minute, was very thought out. So I think in that sense, the confidence never dipped from there.
Okay, Amrita, stay with us. Let me go to Shemin. Shemin, what are your sources telling you about the mood in the opposition camp, the Mahagathbandhan?
What else can be? I mean, like, they are crestfallen. Like when I was talking to an RJD leader last week, he was saying that we will cross the 122 mark. If we don't, it will be a hung assembly. But it is nowhere near a hung assembly when BJP and the JDU combined is close to the 200 seats. So you can understand the mood. I mean, like there is nothing to describe about the mood, or I mean, like, of course there will be some postmortem, some what do you call war of words in the campaign within the coalition.
So from an initial analysis, I know it's too early to actually give a detailed postmortem or a feedback of what it is. But what do you think? The Congress has really pulled down. It's below 5. At the moment, it's showing it's leading in four seats, while the RJD is in 27 seats. Where did the Mahagathbandhan get it really wrong?
See, you said Congress 4. At the same time, we also have to say that AIMIM, basically based in a Hyderabad headquartered party, is leading in 5. Jitendra Manji's party is also leading at 5. So you can understand the Congress predicament. What went wrong for Congress? What went wrong for Congress? Again, I would say factionalism, the issue of unity. Yeah, I'll give you an example of Rajasthan. There was a bipole there is a bipole. The trends are coming in. In that bipole, interestingly, in a sitting BJP seat, the Congress is comfortably leading by around 14,000, 15,000 votes. And how did it happen? All these factional leaders like Ashok Gehlot, Sachin Pilot, and the Rajasthan PCC chief Gotasra all unitedly fight. And on the other side, BJP also saw some kind of unity with Vijay Vasundhara Raje coming in and campaigning for the candidate. So what it shows, it all shows about the organizational ability. In Bihar, the Congress didn't have much of an organization to boast about. Organization, unity among leaders, and a purpose.
I'll just intervene over here, Shemin, just to give viewers an idea. Shemin is talking about the Anta seat in Rajasthan, which went to the bypolls. Currently, Pramod Jain Bhaiya is actually leading. He's a Congress candidate. Second is independent, and the BJP is a distant third in that seat. Continue, Shemin, please.
So again, on the bypolls, I will also add, when in the context of Bihar, in Hyderabad, the Congress candidate is leading, if I remember correctly, in a sitting BRSC. There, the MIM had supported Congress. So again, in Jammu Kashmir, where the Budgam seat, where the chief minister had won, and which he vacated, the PDP is leading. Why? When Congress and the National Conference are in an alliance, there are also issues of unity in that alliance also. So altogether, taking the bipole as well as the Bihar elections, it is not good news for Congress.
Okay, before I go to Amrita for one last question, Chairman, for you, what does this mean for Tejashwi Yadav or the RJD and Congress combined? What does this mean in Bihar for the alliance?
See, Sumit was referring to the 2010 results. Interestingly, at that time, almost similar results were there. Still, RJD could bounce back. You have to understand that at that time, there was one Lalu Prasad Yadav there, the RJD patriarch, very active in this thing. Now, the question remains for RJD is whether Tejashwi can fill in the blanks, fill in the shoes of Lalu. We are not seeing it for the last 10 years. Okay, of course, in 2020, Tejashwi led the campaign. He had an impressive show, but he could not maintain that in the 2024 elections, Lok Sabha elections, and this particular election. So it will be. I won't write off any party in politics. To write off anybody, anyone, any party is a risky business. But RJD will have to, RJD, Congress, and other parties will have to introspect. You see, in the run-up to the elections, we saw RJD and the Congress announcing because VIP's Mukesh Sahni as the Deputy Chief Minister face. But nothing happened. VIP is nowhere in the picture. At least in the electoral scene, we can't see any. So strategically also, did the Mahagathbandhan made any mistakes? They will have to do a postmortem.
Is it safe to say that Tejashwi Yadav will be having a tough time to rallying around the RJD forces after this rout in election?
See, it's not the opposition space. It will be difficult for him. He will have to realign his campaign strategy, the party strategy. He has to build organization. He'll have to find a way how to counter Nitish Kumar. You see, Nitish Kumar maybe. I mean, like you may raise issues about his health and all, but like Nitish still has that kind of aura, that kind of an influence among Biharis. So Tejashwi will have to overcome that. What are his projects? What are his strategies? Right now, at least in these elections, we didn't see it coming out coherently.
Okay, Amrita, if I could ask you a question. The NDA alliance is definitely, winning this. But now the question is, the BJP has got more seats or is projected to get more seats than the JDU. Does this put a question mark over who will be the chief minister, or is it set that Nitish Kumar is the chief minister?
I don't think so. That should be I don't think so. That should have been there should be any doubt about the fact that Nitish Kumar will be declared the chief minister. I think this is what the BJP has been telling us. I think they fought the elections with Nitish Kumar as the CM face, and they will continue with him at least for the moment. What happens in the next 5 years, we cannot be sure of. But I think keeping true to their own declaration, the BJP is going ahead with Nitish as the CM. But within the NDA alliance, one of the things that we had discussed in one of our earlier conversations was how Chirag is going to play out. And like you see results right now, his strike rate is above 70%. So what it has done is that he has edged out the smaller parties in terms of heft within the NDA. The HAM and the other party, I think they are no longer as relevant as Chirag anymore. So I think the BJP will have to also contend with Chirag as well as its own interest when it is dealing with the government formation that is inevitable right now.
Fiju, if I can just one small comment what Amrita is saying. See, this post-electoral politics, post-election politics is also about numbers. Or if you look at numbers, BJP 91, Chirag Paswan's party 21. How much is that? 112. If you add Hindustan Awaam Party, 117. If you add Rashtriya Lok Samata Morcha, 4, 121. So even without JDU, currently the BJP is pretty close to the halfway.
Okay. That's exactly why I asked Amrita that question.
That's a very interesting arithmetic, though. In politics, I think when political parties and alliances take decision, they have a very considered view on this. And once they've done it, because Nitish Kumar remains the face of the alliance, and BJP has to contend with important elections in the months ahead, in the years ahead, especially Uttar Pradesh, because this will have a ripple effect on Uttar Pradesh. So his chances are, he has a certain very strong claim on the chief ministership, but this is an interesting aspect which will be playing out, and we'll have to see what Chirag Paswan does. Does he want a deputy chief minister?
Okay, let's actually use that as a segue to actually get into another aspect of it. Sumit, what do you think is going to be the implications of the Bihar results at the center? We have to remember at the center, the JDU is one of the important pillars on which the Modi government stands, the other being the TDP. Do you see any impact, positive or negative in that sense, because of these results?
See, what generally happens is that the state assembly elections sort of act as a relief, especially if you're leading a minority government, in the sense not coalition government. And if you do well and continue to do well in state assembly elections, then it's like in the interim of various sessions or elections, then it sort of strengthens the central government. So suppose in the last 2 years after the Lok Sabha polls, if BJP wouldn't have done well in Maharashtra, Haryana, and Bihar, what would have been the status in national politics? What would have been the outlook at national politics? If you reverse it, you're approaching a winter session, a party which is leading the alliance has 240, not 271. Okay, and you have had a series of reverses. You are on the back foot, obviously. So what these elections do for the central government, it emboldens them, it strengthens them and it gets reflected in the national politics, obviously.
Okay, Satish, I'll come to you. Before that, last question to Amrita. Amrita, is there any idea on what Modi is going to talk, or what is he going to actually focus on in the evening when he goes to the party office?
Well, we are never really sure of what he is going to touch upon. He is definitely going to thank the party workers. He's definitely going to thank the women who have voted for the party overwhelmingly, as always. I think he's also going to reiterate the fact that he said that this is going to be a historic win. He said this a few days ago, and I think he's going to reiterate that. And he's going to, I think, touch upon a bit of issues of nationalism, considering that the Delhi blast has taken place. I think that might have some sort of a reflection in his speech. But again, these are just guesses, and but thanking the workers and I think thanking women voters definitely will find some spot in his speech.
All right. Thank you, Amrita. Thank you, Shemin. Amrita, I know you're going to be caught over there. Thanks a lot for actually joining us. Now I'm joined by my colleagues Gyanendra Kesri and Ashish Pandey. But before I go to them, Satish, I would like to actually pick your brain on this one. We were talking a short while back about vote share. Now, interestingly, if you look at the vote share numbers, the RJD has polled in about, the RJD has polled in about 22%, 23%. And this is more than what the BJP has done. BJP has done about, its vote share is about 21%, and the JDU's is about 19%. How do you see this math working out? Then it doesn't reflect in the number of seats. Satish.
Yeah, so I think these percentage actually show that on the ground, when you have a sort of arithmetic among the voters. See, RJD has the votes of Muslims and Yadavs, and those are intact. It shows that, and similarly, if you look at JDU, so their core voters are women and EBC, extremely backward caste, something which Nitish Kumar has been able to cultivate over the last 20 years, right? So these things are reflection of their party's performances. And another thing that BJP has been able to do is that they have been targeting the youngsters, and they have been focusing on this, development and jungle Raj. It has been their core element of campaigning, and I think this percentage actually reflects those equations and their narratives around it.
Just one thing. See, there's one distinction we have to make. RJD contested 143 seats. BJP and JDU contested 101 seats. So in that 101 seats, they are pretty close to what RJD is polling 144 seats. So if you convert it, this conversion is made. Say, suppose out of 100 seats, how many? If you convert RJD's vote share out of 101 seats, it's going to be come down.
Yes, but no. The point I was trying to make is that does the RJD have at least a portion or a sizable portion of its vote bank intact? It might not reflect in the seats. That could be different versions because of you could have similar, like AIM and others would have actually cut into it. But the thing is it safe to say that the RJD has not lost its vote share, or it has reduced, but it is not completely decimated?
See, Viju, in the last 2023 Bihar caste census, the Yadav voting population is 14%, Muslim population is 17%. Together, that makes 31%. RJD is 21-22%, plus Congress is 8%, plus left and all comes to around 32 to 35%, which means they've got their vote share. There will be pockets like Simanchal where we very clearly see that either Mr. Owaisi is winning or he's created a situation where NDA wins, and he is relegated at times the Congress and the RJD to the third spot. That alone, but core vote is there. But on the opposite side, which means you've got nothing apart from Muslims, Yadavs, and some of the left votes. On the other side, you have BJP, JDU, and its allies polling 48-49%. in a bipolar election, when you have a difference of 14% votes, obviously it's going to translate into a three-fourths majority.
Three-fourths majority. Okay, Gyanendra, if I could come to you, during the campaign, there was a lot of talk about aid, 10,000 rupees being given, government jobs being promised. Then there was actually the promise about 1 crore jobs being promised to be given. How do you see the financial incentives and promises that were made during the campaign? Do you think that has played a crucial role in what the results we see today?
Yes. See, when I was traveling, I traveled extensively from North Bihar to Patna and South Bihar during that campaign. And I was speaking to some of the analysts and the journalists also were closely monitoring it. What we saw that this Prashant Kishor and even Rahul Gandhi, Tejashwi, they were able to make issues. But that altered when Nitish Kumar started making announcements about, say, free electricity. Then he came up with some schemes for graduates, and ultimately this 10,000 transfer for women. So that played crucial role. I was speaking to in Muzaffarpur. I went to a educational institution, and there were obviously equal number of it seems girls and boys sitting there, and all the girls, I don't know which caste they belong to, but irrespective of caste, they said that we are going to vote for Nitish Kumar. Not just this 10,000 thing. Since he came in power in 2005, his focus has been on women, be it cycle scheme, then reservations, and then this 10,000. So he has very carefully cultivated that segment, women. And this 10,000 played very, very crucial role. Several of the women I spoke, who will you vote? So they were like, जिसने 10,000 रुपया दिया है उसको I will vote. So you call it bribe, whatever you call it, but that resulted in votes, and that bought votes. So far as financial implications are concerned, this is not a recurring cost to the exchequer. So 10,000 has been transferred. So it's not that once you come back, you have to give them 10,000, say, every year or something like that. So this is not going to have very big implication for the state finances. One thing he has promised that once if you come out, all these women who have got this 10,000, if they come up with a business plan, if they utilize that and give it back, they will be given 2 lakh rupees, up to 2 lakh rupees financial support. So that is going to be grant or whatever way, but that is not, there is no clarity on how it is going to impact the finances. So we don't see very big impact because of this thing. What other you talk about, which is irrelevant now, what Mr. Tejashwi Yadav and Mahagathbandhan has promised, that was unsustainable. When you are talking that you are going to transfer X amount every month or every year, so that was not the case with what Nitish Kumar has done. So we don't see much
It's
stretch on the
it's
economy of
clear
people.
that the people of Bihar have trusted the promises made by the NDA alliance more than the Mahagathbandhan. Ashish, if I could come to you, can you just give us a overall picture of what you're seeing online? What is the buzz online, and how is it?
Uh, the buzz online is not different than what we are discussing here. Like there is like a sense of surprise. Uh, there is so in among supporters there is a sense of there is a sigh of relief, but people who are neutral, they are surprised of these numbers. I mean, we all are. I mean, we all expected that we all the exit polls were saying that somehow NDA will win these elections, but 200 plus as of the numbers that they look at, they look like 200 plus seats for NDA. It's huge. It's huge by any yardstick, and I mean this 200 was just not visible on ground. and it was just not visible on the online also, you can say. But yeah, 200
Okay,
is something
this
which
was
is
because this was earlier mentioned. I'm just bringing the question back to you again. What role do you see Chirag Paswan's LJP playing in the state now? It's projected to win about 22 seats. What do you see? Chirag Paswan's LJP's role in the next 5 years?
Chirag Paswan's future depended on on Nitish Kumar's performance. Looking at what Nitish Kumar's party has performed, I don't see anything like him getting anything better in the state as of now. What he has got in the center is the best deal for him, and I don't think that Nitish or his party will allow him to expand his presence in the state for the next 5 years at this moment. But in politics, I mean, we cannot actually rule out anyone. But I don't see him getting any chance to expand his wings in the state, considering these results for Nitish. His whole existence dependent on how Nitish is going to perform.
Is there still online a very buzz? Is there a big buzz for Jan Suraaj? Because if you were actually, I mean, obviously you were following it, but if all our viewers who are actually following it, there was a lot of buzz about Prashant Kishor and the impact he would have on the polls. That does not seem to be the case, but can you just tell us about that, Ashish?
Yeah, he was always a leader on social media. He was all over social media, but he was never on ground. That is also a very true statement to say. People are not that surprised at what his political outfit has done in these elections, and we also are not surprised that much. And also, people who were talking about him online, they also somehow understand that he was a leader of social media, and from here what he does is what is important. Like how will he rise from here, and what will he do, what will be his next step. One very interesting point I would like to add here: the first high profile reaction we have got, and we have got that from the state of Karnataka. The chief minister has said that they have done vote churi there, and interesting thing, he said that I didn't go to Bihar. Probably he's hinting at someone from Karnataka who went to Bihar. So I just wanted all my panelists to just focus on that, and maybe someone can share some light on that.
I think Akhilesh has also made a statement to that effect. Thank you,
Yes.
Ashish. Thank you, Gyanendra. But I'll just come to Sumit on that. Sumit, what do you think is the takeaway from this election, both the campaign and the results? What do you think stands out for you?
See, Viju, every election is an independent political, social, economic churn. It is a reflection on how the society is progressing. Everyone, as individuals, as social groups, we want to better our lives. We want to achieve things in life. As a social groups, you have political aspirations, we have identities, there are social aspirations, there are economic aspirations. Political parties use communities as vehicles for their empowerment and vice versa. Now, in every election, there is a narration and there is a counter narrative. There is a narrative and a counter narrative. People decide, and one really can't link one election to the other. There is a continuity which is present there in front of the people in the form of the government, which is the incumbent government, and there is a challenger which is offering them an alternative. The people in their wisdom decide whether the alternative offered is better, or should they continue with the current form of government that is already existing. And I think every time independently they make a choice for themselves, and that gets reflected in the outcome. So I mean, I have never linked elections one with another. uh, I've seen political parties lose a string of elections ahead of Lok Sabha polls and then end up winning Lok Sabha, and vice versa also, where winning Lok Sabha and thereafter losing assembly polls. So it's basically upon the people and how you build your campaign. People have been surprised with the way Mamdani in New York, the capitalist capital of the world, has created his campaign, a left of the center campaign, and won. So, I mean, things are happening. It's not that. The question is whether the alternative which was offered to the people of Bihar by the opposition, whether that was the alternative that was they were looking for. I don't think that was the alternative, which is why they decided to continue with the current.
The results make it sure that that was not the alternative the people of Bihar were looking for. Satish, if I could ask you your final comments.
Yes, I would like to add what Sumit said about the campaigning. I found Tejashwi Yadav little shaky when it came to his the way he campaigned. He didn't look very confident. He wasn't aggressive. Uh, as a matter of fact, Prashant Kishor was much more aggressive, much more effective, as a campaign leader than Tejashwi Yadav. And we had expected from Tejashwi Yadav a lot to do, but he wasn't there at all. All the limelight, or the star of Bihar election was uh, Prashant Kishor. There is no denying that, because I saw one of his road shows and people were going crazy about him. But I also realized, I spoke to a couple of people during the roadshow, and they said he is a better option, better alternative, but he will have to sustain for another couple of elections, means 10, 15 years, before people will give, before you become that legitimate to lead a state as complex and big as Bihar. So I think somewhere Mahagathbandhan actually lost the plot, especially the way they took SIR. SIR was again, I think they wanted to mint this this issue, and campaign around it, but they failed miserably and they lost the momentum. I think once Rahul Gandhi ended his voter Adhikar Yatra, from there, they lost the plot. This is my understanding. Yeah.
Prashant Kishor raised all the right questions, but the people of Bihar were not ready. They've asked him to. They want to see him more, and then only repose faith in him. The Mahagathbandhan
Yes.
focused on the wrong alternatives and the options. They didn't ask the right questions, and the NDA alliance got it all right. The coalition arithmetic, the caste politics, and they fought as one unit, projecting Nitish Kumar as the chief minister. And today's results are a reflection of that. As I had mentioned in our earlier videos, we will be coming live every 1 hour. The next would be at 3 o'clock, followed by 4, 5, and at 7 o'clock would have an extensive discussion. For all the live updates, go to our website, www.deccanherald.com. You can see our videos on our YouTube channel, Deccan Herald's YouTube channel. If you've not pressed the subscribe button, please do, so that the next time a video drops, you will be notified. Until then, thank you.